Good afternoon, traders. It's AJ. What's going on? It's a YouTuber. Today we're going to do a YouTube free video to recap what we did on October 9th of 2020 in live in front of this amazing room we call Awesomecalls Trading. Boy, we have really grown in the last 90 days this year alone. And we're pretty much almost back to where we are almost 2 years ago. And I cannot, when I walk in the room now and I see so many people in the morning. So much fun. It's so energy. I love it, and I love to be able to. And what I love more than anywhere is I love to, um, you know, I just love like not only just trading live, but watching all these trades happen and materialize and watching everything. I mean, these small cap stocks. I'll tell you, I can't stress it enough. These are like you can make $100,000 a day every single day in this chat room. 50,000 a day, 25,000 a day. You need if you had like a decent size account. I mean, if you know where the stock is going to go, like on this WWR, for instance, I look at this and I'm just staring at it like the news just it reaped short. I mean, it just screamed short, and I was just like looking at it. And I sat there and I went, this is an $8 and under stock. And I want you to look at the news, why the stock was up to begin with. So let's just start with that, and I kind of want you to see how I kind of interpret things when I read through the news. Okay, so WWR announcement was they received 30 metric tons of concrete. And you kind of almost have to just laugh at that, okay? The first questions that come to your mind is that bringing value to the company? Is that going to be on the earnings report? Is that worth value to the company? And you just laugh. You're like, it's literally like you go to Home Depot and you put 30 tons in a truck and you go and deliver it and put it in their front patio and go, here you go. And all of a sudden your stock is up $2-3 a share because you delivered 30 tons of concrete to. Now, you might come back, well, let me explain to you the graphite concentrate of the plant production. Okay, dude, stop. I'm not in. No, time out. Next. I'm just reading point blank. This is a short. There's nothing going on. So what does that mean? Well, it means if you have one of those platforms that can find the shorts, that have the shorts, because the typical TDD, the typical TDD, the typical Schwab, E-Trades, IBs, they're not going to have that. They're really not going to have that. And a lot of times I look at these headlines and I think to myself, these are just pops to just try to get people out of positions. So they create news which is really to me invalid. And when I look at that, I saw it moving up on small volume. What is small volume? Well, volume is 3,000 shares. Okay, 2,000 shares. You see the volume? 6,000 shares. You know, uh, 2,000 shares. This is just retail traders from everywhere. Okay, and all they're doing is they're just they're just buying up the stock. And they're trading and trading stock back and forth and whatever, and it's just walking it up. All right, not a lot of market makers are on the stock, so it's just walking itself up. And I look at that and there's like, oh, my first thought is there's not enough volume, so that volume's going to get, it's going to get pulled right at the open or sold off. And then I simply look at the news and then I watch the topping. This is very important when you're day trading. You've got to look for topping. What is topping? Topping is where it doesn't break through support. And that's what this did today. If you look really closely, the support level was 940, and it just would not. This was a quick fat finger, but it just would not bust through. And when you start to get a topping like that and lower lows, you can literally take a short position, say 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 500 shares, whatever you want. You literally can start, once it starts to come down, you can go 920 short and put your stops back at 940. So your risk is 20 or 30 cents, depending on what you want. But the news tells me that the stock is going to sell off. Just by reading that headline, it tells me, AJ, this is a dump to 8 and under. And so what I do is I prepare everyone and I actually let you know this is a joke. Okay, this is nothing but a joke, and this will come down to 8.25 and under. And if you can look, and if you took decent size at the opening bell, you literally look at that. In 16 minutes, it hit 8.25 in 16 minutes of the opening bell. So literally, if you had 10,000 shares short, you made over $10,000. If you had 5,000, and it wasn't that, well, what if? See, a lot of traders do that constantly over and over. They'll go, well, what if it goes up? Well, what if it does this? I don't want to look at it then. Because what if it does? Okay, well, I'm telling you, it's not. And here is your firm stops in case it does. But the news tells me it's nothing but a short and nothing more. The news doesn't validate it being up over $9 a share. Okay, and that's it. That's in a nutshell. So, could you have made on 5,000 shares 10 grand today? Yes, literally. 7,000 shares, maybe 15 grand. And once it found bottom here, you can see it struggled right here, and it had a resistance of $7.10. So over 2 points, and then you can see it starting to move up. Another amazing trade that I'm going to probably highlight over the weekend is Shopify. Now, this is a very expensive stock to a lot of you, but to me, this is just another amazing play. I want you to see something on the 10th. I believe it was the 10th. Shopify, about 20 days ago, did an offering. You see this offering? They did an offering right around here. I believe it was 900 for 1,000,000 shares. So the stock actually came a little bit below the 900 between the market selling off and the offering. We were down here around 900. Now I want you to watch something. When that hit, I immediately said, "This is going to 1,000." So you're going to make 100 points. But then within 24, I think within that day or 24 hours later, I actually said this is going now to 1,100. And not just because it popped 30 points. I want you to see something. When the offering came, I want you to look at the analysts out there. Okay. Let's go right here. You see Key Bank. Okay. And I'm going to go as max 30 days out. Okay. You see how KeyBank came out with 1250? They increased it from 1150 to 1250. Now, KeyBank is a tier 3 firm. Okay. It's a tier 3 firm. So they're not going to really influence the stock. But a week prior to that, before the offering, I want you to look. Right? Here's the offering right here on the 16th. $900 at 1 million. Okay? $900 at 1 million on the 16th of September. There's your offering, right? So 1 million shares at 900. That should have really no effect with Shopify. Within a week later, right? Goldman Sachs came out with 1,300. That was all I needed. Once the stock hit the 900, I go, traders, this is an $1,100 stock. It's done. It's going to 1,100. So if you want to buy calls, I don't care what the market's going to do. The stock is going to 1,100. And then I think a few days later, a week later, Wedbush comes out at 1,300, which I really don't care about. Another thing. And then KeyBank comes out at 1,250. Now I want you to watch the stock that we called at 900. Now look at the stock today. 900, almost 1,100. We're $3 shy. Literally a 200 point trade in less than 20 days. So many people in the room. Can I get a swing? 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 I want to buy calls. I want to buy calls. Give me something I can do. Give me something I can do. This was so obvious to me and so blatant. And yet 90% of the traders won't touch it because they're afraid. and the stock is 1,098. And by the end of the day, by the time I'm done finishing, this will be 1,100 bucks. And you could literally see this trade being developed when it was less than 900. And this is where you need to understand what analysts do. How can analysts make us a fortune? If you know the right analysts, which is what I teach every time I'm trading, Goldman Sachs is a tier one. They are not going to come out and put their customers and tell them, "Oh yeah, this is worth 1,300." If they don't really think, and they put a huge buy rating on it. And not only that, how many of their clients did they put on that made a fortune? Think about that. Why do you think people run to Goldman Sachs to have them manage their money? I mean, look, imagine waking up and go, man, Goldman, you were right. You were right. I was right. I'm the guy telling you to buy it till 1,100. You know? I'm not going to look at that buoy trade, Rick. You can have fun with that. So, in this instance, this was a beautiful trade. Okay? So, I wanted to stop on that one. The next one I want to talk about is XLNX. This was a wonderful trade today. And I want you to look how I wrote this up. Okay. XLNX trades around $105, $106 a share. It's been trading that way for a while. And then it got gapped up. AMD. AMD decides, hey, we want to make an offer to XLNX, which is a competitive, I believe. Okay. The problem is XLNX doesn't really want to be bought out. I mean, especially by AMD. And to be honest with you, I think the offer is very undervalued, to be honest with you. However, this is what I'm talking about, listening before you react. You can learn more by listening to someone. Listen before you react. My whole attitude today was short XLNX to 115. That was the minute I woke up, the minute I said anything, that's what I said. XLNX to 115. You don't believe me? It's right here. XLNX. Short this stock to 115. When it snaps 122, it'll go to 115. If it opens, it'll be a quick push. Look for topping, fade it to 115, 115, 115. Now, why? Why? Why do I do that? Why did all the people in the world, why do I say this is a short? Because I listen. And what do I do when I listen? I listen. So what I do is I come up here and I want to go to the round table. This is what I call the round table. I fly on the wall. I want to get opinions of some of the top tier analysts. What do they think of the AMD offer? Do they think it's really going to go through? Do they think it's really something? Okay. XLNX. I want you to look how important it is to look at a tier one analyst. Again, I pay attention to this stuff. I'm not listening to Kramer. Doesn't think they're going to sell itself. Okay, Kramer is Kramer. We all know Kramer. Okay, I'm looking at Citi. I'm paying attention to this analyst, Chris Stanley. I know this dude. Over the years, I've watched him call out things. His first instinct to tell the world, to the community, was there's a good chance that they're going to turn down this deal on the AMD buyout offer. And in my world, as a day trader, as one of the best day traders in the world, I see through that. Because I trust this analyst, I'm going to put in a short. And it's interesting because after the analyst comes out, it seems like all the other analysts were quiet. And then a couple hours later, look at a tier 3 analyst like Wedbush. Oh, I don't see the logic of them being bought out by AMD. You see how they copycat? You see how they copycat? That's why I don't give Wedbush any respect. All of a sudden, they start to see the stock sell off, and they come out and their high school graduates over there start saying, "Oh, I don't think the deal will be done." But see, for me in the morning, when I'm up at 3 o'clock, see the time frame, 3, 4:30 in the morning, I'm reading. While everyone's trying to figure out what to trade, I already know I'm going to trade that. That's a short, 500 shares. That's a done deal. You can even, if you have enough, you can do 1,000 shares, 122,000 buying power, and just take that thing down. That is a short. Now, is it going to gap fill? No. And let me tell you why. Okay? It's not going to gap fill because if they're on the table, listen to me very carefully. If they're on the table, right? If they're on the table to be looked at, bought at, or have an offer, okay, chances are on those that within the first 2 or 3 days, it's basically like a stars on it. How do I say this? It's like now all of a sudden everyone's looking at XLNX. Okay, and what I say by that is I want you to kind of back up a little bit. If AMD puts out an offer or is considering, and the stock is trading at what the offering price will probably be, and it's staying up there, right? A lot of times what happens is, well, maybe AMD isn't the right setup for it. And a lot of companies out there going, you think you think XLNX might take an offer from us? You know, maybe we should make an offer. And so investors are thinking, hey, it's in play. That's the word I'm using. It's in play. And so at that moment, in that time, this is why the stock will not fully gap fill. A lot of people ask me today, AJ, will this gap fill? Can I take it to 108? Can I buy 108 puts? No, no, no. I'm sorry. This is not going to gap fill. It's in play right now. It's in play. And I'm going to be real with you. It took me 10 years to understand that. And I'm telling you in 2 minutes. So you don't make that mistake. I took 10 years to learn. And trust me, it took 10 years to learn this. Okay? And this is what I'm saying. I try to take the time off what I went through so you don't have to go through that process. Because I was one of these guys that was trying to short the stock and didn't understand and was fighting it because I was a kid. I was a child. But now I understand the world. I understand the stock market, how it works, how investors think, why Wall Street. So what I did is when I looked at this, I said to myself, you know what? I like to see this come down to 115. So what I'm going to do is when it snaps 122, I think we can get another 7 points to the downside. And for the most part, if you look at the snap at 122 right there, look at how it pulled down quick to 118. Then 118, it went down to 116. So I missed it by $1, but the intent was there that I knew what I wanted. And what that does is it gives the chat room the ability to make a lot of money on a stock if I know where it's going to go before it goes there. I want you to look at this trade very, very carefully. I would say 99.9% of the chat rooms outside of Awesome Calls did not want to play this, did not want to trade it, and really had no direction or leadership on how to mentor you on the trade. I don't hide away from any trade, any stock. Okay? That's who I am today. I had this room going on 8 years. After next week, we're going on 9 years. Jenny's been with me the whole 8 years. There's a few, I think there's 25 original traders here that have been here for a solid 8 years. But on October 14th is my anniversary. 8 years of Awesome Calls. After that, we go to 9 years. But in those years, I have learned to really pay attention and to read the thoughts of the investors and look at the analyst. What are they saying? And based on what they're saying, I can make a sound decision. This is a decision on a trade that can make a trader 10, 20, 100,000, $1 million in this room, depending on the size of his account. If I tell a big trader with lots of money and I say, this is going to 115 and he's buying 118 puts at the open and he's loading up, look how much money he made. You see that? Because I knew what this stock was going to do. This is big money. For you as a day trader, if you're doing 100 shares, you make $500-$600. I'm happy for you. If you're doing 500 shares, you make $3,000 on just this one trade alone. Because you know where the stock's going to go in this chat room. Let me talk about another little stock that we did today. It was called Vapor. I made this the #1 pick in their chat room, and I did it for a reason. I meant a couple of reasons. The first thing I do is I look at the bag holders that are holding the stock, which is right here, prior to the news. So we got a bunch of bag holders, right? The second thing I want to do is determine what is the news. Why is it jamming? Why is the stock gapping up and running in the pre-market? That's the second thing I have to do. So I go to my research and I start putting Viper, and Viper shows up that Viper Power to acquire 51% of Tempo ELV for $4.7 million. Okay, so as you read the headline, um, it's saying that Tempo generated $2.3 million in revenue for its fiscal year ended December 31st. VidPower and Tempo have over 700 active customers, combining many of which are mining and infrastructures in utility sectors. Okay, I've been doing these for a long time, and what I read in this, okay, is assuming the definitive agreement for a bigger stake in the company. I also look at the revenue of the company that ended last year, which means it tells me that this is going to add value to VPBR. And so based on that, plus it's giving 700 active users additional to VPBR. So this is positive for the stock. Okay, will that stock gap fill? No, it won't. It'll probably come down to 13, 14. Again, this is where I come in as an analyst now. I become AJ the analyst. I've spoke to many times doing these webinars. You know, there's a trader, there's a good trader, there's a great trader, and then there's an analyst. And an analyst, he can oversee everything. He can basically look at the news and determine a value of a stock and say, this is where the stock's going to stop today because this is the true value of the company before it even trades. But before it does that, we're going to have some pops, right? Because now the chart, this is where I come in and say, the chart tells me we're going to make a run. What does that mean? That means we're going to get some nice pops. Does it mean that the value's up there at 24, 22, $20 a share? No, not at all. In my opinion, the stock is still going to sell at 14. But before I get to my 14, I want shorts to get squeezed. Now, why are shorts going to get squeezed? That's a great question. Well, if you look at the timeline and you look carefully at this stock for the last, let's just take 20 days. Okay, you see this? They're trading between 7.5 and 12, give or take. Millions of shares. A lot of short sellers in there, thinking that this stock eventually will come down to 7, 6, 5, and just kind of fade away. So now they wake up and they see this news. Now they see the gap up, which is right there. Okay, if I'm a short seller, I'm being real with you. I'm panicking. If I own 3,000 shares short at 10, I'm in trouble. Okay, because now I am down. I'm staring at $9,000 loss. Okay, because nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw it coming, right? So the news comes out this morning. Boom, it comes out. I was like, oh my gosh. So if I'm a short seller, if I can't get out pre-market, I want to get out. Meanwhile, the longs, they'll look at it and say, you know, this is a really interesting company merging with this or buying this stake in the company, bringing value to it. So I think this stock has got some value, which is what I think. I think the stock is worth 14. And so the stock starts to make a move to 14. Now some short sellers are really starting to panic and they're actually squeezing it up in pre-market, and it ran all the way to 17. Now, once I saw this, the 17 move, I told myself, you know what? I can get this to 19 or 20. Now, again, I'm reiterating to you, this is a $14 stock. Okay, it's a $14 stock. That's where it should sit, 13.50, 14. How do I know that? Because I analyzed it. So I have to tell you and inform all of you that this is the value of the stock. 13.50 to 14.50. That is where the stock will trade between. Because I'm an analyst, it's not going to gap fill. Okay, so get that. I don't want short sellers to think, oh, we're going to come all the way down to 10. No, it's not going to happen today. But before we get to my 14, I want to pop the stock at the open. I want to get a little bit of love and get my 19. Why? because it already showed me that the stock cleared 17 earlier in pre-market, right there. This is all pre-market. So that told me I had strength. 1.6 million shares were traded in pre-market. So I told myself, look, AJ, I'll tell you what. When the stock starts to break out through 17, I want you to long it because, in my opinion, these short sellers over here are going to squeeze out. They're going to want to get out of the trade as quickly as they can. So it's going to cause a squeeze. How much will that squeeze go? In my opinion, no more than 19 to 20. That is my professional opinion. Okay? And then from there, I can sell off the stock to my $14. So now I can't short this stock over at TDD. Okay? They didn't have shares this morning. Pre-market, I tried to see if they haven't had it. They didn't have none, right? And typically TDD won't have shares like this. You have to call them in. You have to request them, right? So I can only play this the long side. So I have one shot at this. So how do I play it? Well, I saw the breakout at 17. So I felt confident if I can clear, AJ, why all the short sellers are waiting for the market, because not everybody can trade in pre-market, Rick. A lot of traders, even friends of yours, can't trade pre-market. Their platforms won't let them. So they have to wait for the open. And so what happens is, so now I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the shorts to get squeezed. So I'm watching that 17 level. Okay? So the market opens right here. Okay? I see that 17 bunching up, and I'm thinking, okay, this is my move to 19. Okay, as you can see, it pulled. And I went, oh, darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I actually didn't say darn it, but I said I was a little emotional. Let's just put it this way. And I got pulled a point and a quarter. I got taken to the cleaners, right? I was like, darn. But I still see them. I don't understand why. They're going to squeeze. I just know it. So my timing was a little bit off. And this is what I call it when I say my timing is off. My timing's off. It's as simple as that. It's just my timing, right? I know this is going to squeeze. I know it's going to squeeze. I know this stock. I know it. So my timing was off. So it started to pull. I got out. I didn't watch it go here, 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 here. I don't do that. I don't blow my accounts. It's not the way I trade. And I don't size enough where I'm going to blow an account. I don't do that. I trade moderately. Okay? What fits my budget. So I'm down about 2 G's right around here. I cover, I get out, and I sit down and I wait. I'm like, damn, AJ. And I said to myself into the room, right? My voice was saying, I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get my money. And sure enough, it curled around. And this is what I wanted at the open that didn't give it to me. All right? Which is okay. My timing was off. But once this curled around to 17 again, I took advantage of it because now I see as a professional mentor day traders been doing this for 16 years, I see the stock running to 19. So I have plenty of time to get my money, play it live, watch traders. They can play it with me. Everyone can make their money. And I want you to watch what happened. 17 hits, 19 hits. 17 hits, 19 hits. I'm done. I was done over here. Anybody in the room could have took this trade. Once 17 hit, 19 was coming. I did want to see if it can go to 20, but I'll take the 1950. So I got my money back, made a few bucks. Now I sat and waited for a moment. Okay, so now I'm sitting there, and I'm telling, and I want you to see where it came down. What did I tell you the value of the stock would be? What did I say? What did I say the value of the stock would be? 14. Came down and stopped at 14. You see my point? You see the room you're in? Yes, do I overanalyze stocks? Yes, but that's my job. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the absolute best possible trade in the world. So if you're a short seller in here, I don't want you having the mindset, this is going to 12 today. No, it's not. You're not analyzing what the value of the stock is worth. That's what I come in to teach you that. take you to a different level of day trading. I don't want day traders just to day trade and take a stock just because somebody took it. I want them to think about every aspect of why they traded that stock. Because the more involved you are in understanding the back layer of it, where's it going to stop? Where's it going to go? Now, as a technical trader, you can come in and go, I'm going to do it off the VWAP, the EMA, and all these other technical analysis that you come up with. That's wonderful for you, and I'm happy for you. But in my world, in the AJ world, I'm giving it value. What is the value of this stock? And the value based on the information I read is $14. Now, if I can base at 14 and it doesn't fall below, there's another shot that the stock is going to have another play in it. Okay. And where would I trade that stock? Okay. If the stock is down here and I'm looking at it, I tell traders it's basing. There's my 14 level I was talking about. You know what, traders? I'll tell you what. If this thing pops to 17, it's going to rip and it's going to take out that high. I will play that again when it hits that 17 area because it'll take this out and go through 20. Again, it's my experience. I've been doing this. And what this does is it helps a short seller don't get trapped. Short sellers will get wiped out if they don't listen to someone like me. Now I want you to see what happened. You see how it's edged? Right around there. See that? See that? Bam. 17. You see how it cleared all that? Now I can run the stock. See how I just had to wait for it? This is what I'm talking about. As I know, we don't swing anything over the weekend. So what I'm looking for, okay, is momentum. I always tell traders in the chat room, do not buy the stock unless it shows you. This is a clear cut of a stock showing you. Listen to me very carefully. A lot of you make such common mistakes. You think the stock's going to move. You think it's going to do this. This is the most common mistake of day traders. Well, I think it looks like it's going to go up. Oh, I think it's going to do this. Oh, it looks like it's going to do this. I better go long. I better go short. I better do it. And then it goes opposite. And you get frustrated. But it looked like it was going to go up. Did the stock show you? What do you mean show you, AJ? What does that mean, show you? How does the stock show you? Right here. 3 candles of buying. Does it want to show you? It's ready to make its move. Right? Solid. 3 big clumps. 300, 500, million, 2 million shares coming in. It wants to make a move. And it's clearing the 17 area. So I want to long that stock. I want to long it. Now I'm going to make an announcement. I'm longing 2K shares, room to 20 or more. Now, I'm in the stock, market order 1880, 1887, and it just rips. Now, do I want to get up here and sell? Of course I would love to, but I'm a day trader. I'm happy to make 1 point. I'm happy to make 90 cents. I'm happy to make 60 cents. I'm just happy. I'm happy because I won, right? Because once this stock shows you it wants to rip, why would it rip? Because shorts are going to get squeezed again. So how high can the stock go? Through 20. That I'm calling through 20. But the fact it went to 24 gave traders even more momentum to continue to buy it. So if you had 1,000 shares here and you ripped 1.5 points and you sold it for 1.25 points, you made $1,200 because the stock showed you. It introduced itself to you. Hello, John. I'm going to go ahead and run to 20. Would you like to come along for the ride? Hello, John. Would you like to pick up 500 shares of me? Hello, Mr. John Doe. Do you want to buy 1,000 shares with me at 19? Because I'm going to push this stock. See? It tells you when to buy. So you load up, you get in, you tell the room, you give them the entry, tell them the amount of shares, then you show it, you sell it, you click it, you're done, you're up, you're done for the day. Meanwhile, others can continue to make their money because the momentum is there. We're in a powerful chat room. This is not some lame room that's got 50 people in there. We are a big room, and we have 20 to 25 other rooms in here. So when we buy first, the whole world follows us. It's like that saying, When I sneeze, everyone's holding my Kleenex. I got 25 rooms holding my Kleenex in line. So this is why sometimes people go, well, every time you say it's going to go, it rips. Well, that's because I have 25 copycatters in here. It's my job to get you in it before they start chasing it. And that's what I do. And there's the rip. Now, why are they in here? If you're running a room and you need to learn how to day trade and be a pro, isn't this the room to learn? So you can sound important to your clients? There's only one Awesome Calls. So this was a pure winner. After it hit, guess what? Coming right back down to 14. Next week, there are going to probably be about 5 or 6 of these type of stocks. Next week, we're going to have earnings. It is going to be a busy, busy 3 months. You better be ready. I'm going to teach you things you've never seen before. You're going to play a lot of earnings, a lot of chatter, right? I'm going to bring you a lot of small cap stocks. I'm going to show you where they're going to go before they hit there. You're going to make so much money into Christmas. It's not even funny. Okay? You're going to learn so much. Now, in my room, I love this room. I'm passionate. If I wasn't passionate about what I do for a living or how I make my living, then you would see it in my voice. You would see it in my energy because I would have none. All right? There's never been a day in 8 years that I've come in and said, there's nothing to trade. I've never done that. Every day I prepare 12 ideas at minimum. I will never be that trader ever that goes zzz or nothing to trade. This is a room that there is constantly something to trade. And I am surrounded by some of the most incredible, talented people in the industry. Adam News, Darkside, Janny, James, JT, Raphael, B Trades, Palmer, um, and what's his name? Forgive me. Let me go to my thing here. Dave the Trader. Yeah, Dave the Trader. Uh, and so being around them every day helps me become a better trader. I feel like I'm always on top of my toes because I kind of, between you and you know, I want to impress them every day. I want them to not like me, but I want to impress Darkside. I want to impress Adam because these guys have been seasoned traders for years. And to get Adam to tell me, that's a great call there. That's my pat on the back. When a trader makes money on a call that I give, that's a pat on the back. When a trader tweets and says, look what I made, that's a pat on the back. Those are the rewards I live for as a day trader. Do I have anybody that I look up to? No. I'm sorry, I don't. Is there anybody I follow that I go, I want to be like this guy? No. No, there's nobody. Is there any tweet that I look at and say I want to be like do that? No. No. I fish for my own ideas. I play my own ideas. I'm very disciplined. I know what I'm looking for. I've been doing this a long time. I'm very, very transparent in the way I trade. I'm very transparent in how I speak to people. Um, so this is what I do. And every day I'm going to show everyone until one day it's going to be like a ding in their head. And all of a sudden, they're going to be a consistent trader making 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000 every single day. It's going to be where you're going to get to a point where it's going to be exciting to come to work. So anyway, that is today's YouTube free today. This is the passion we have in our room. And this was the pre-market game plan for October 9th. So thank you. I will stop the recording. If you want to join us, just click any of these links and it'll flash to our website. And just come down and click any of these, 25, 100, 197, or you can go yearly and you're all set. Christmas special is coming November 10th, I believe. So get ready for it. Anybody wants it early? Just not a problem. Just let me know. It's ho, ho, ho time. All right. So